Hello, welcome to another video by Classic Susan. Today is my Festival BoxyCharm Pure palette, but I'm also going to put a giveaway in this. I am going to give away one of these No Problem primers. All you have to do is comment in the comments, say, I need that. So anyway, without further ado, I have squalene oiled my face, getting it ready for makeup. Yeah, woo, let me get a little bit of that excess off there. Okay, so first things first, I want you to see the similarity between the Becca, and this is Becca First Light, and the Catrice Morning Glow. So we're going to put Becca on this side and the Catrice on this side. They're both kind of that purpley, bright morning effect. So anyway, without further ado, let me get my glowy primers on, and then I will do my T-zone with the No Problem, and you know, we'll see how it goes. But I just want you to see how similar the Becca First Light and that Catrice Morning Glow are. I like glow, so I probably use too much. This is what the Morning Glow looks like. Very purpley, so we'll just dot quite a lot. Just rub that in. I do not put it under my eyes. I just basically rub that in. We're going to do half of the face. This does provide a really beautiful glow, and I take it all the way down my neck. Probably a little over the top, but I do. I like the effect it has, and it just looks really beautiful on the skin. It's not drying. Gives you a beautiful glow. However, she's expensive, and you know, that's great if you're gonna do a fancy look. Okay, that's great if you want to feel bougie and spend a lot of money. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It just depends on the situation. Sorry, I'm making crinkly noises. Let me take my makeup wipe out so that I can get this nastiness off my hand. It's not really nasty, but you know. So there's the look. It's dried down. Still looks incredibly dewy. And this is the Becca First Light Primer. I usually just buy sample sizes because I just don't use it that often to predicate that. And then, just on a whim, I came across this in Ulta. Oh, I don't know, about a month ago. Does not look the same going on. This looks very pinky. Do you see that? Very pinky. I don't know if the light lets you read how truly pink this looks. It kind of reminds me of cotton candy. But I love the glow on this better. Do you see how it's that same purpley once you rub it in? But look at that glow. And I've tried this with, I don't know, 4 or 5 different foundations. I've tried it with my powder foundations. I've tried it with my oil-based foundations, but I want you to just see. And it dries quick. So it's a little bit harder to work with, maybe. And it really does like pow. Yeah, you get a little bit of a glow there, but this is like, bam, you can see my face from space. Yeah, I'm going to put a little bit more on my neck just because, you know, I'm feeling sparkly. This is definitely a festival look, and I want to be glowy and glittery. All right, so there's the two. I mean, I think I paid like, I don't know, $8.99 for this, maybe $8.99, $10.99 at Ulta. It was a good price, but look, do you see half of it? It's pretty much the same. you know, this actually dries down a little bit tacky, so it actually helps the foundation stick. This is more like a, I don't know, like a dewy, and it doesn't dry as tacky. So the longevity of the foundation is not quite as long. All right, so let's move on. Let's take all that off and let's get into the No Problem. You know, at first when I got this, I was like, this doesn't minimize pores. No, not really. At first, that's what you think. And then you'll notice by the end of the day, it hasn't changed. The pores haven't like come forward in your skin. I had this on in my video when I opened my BoxyCharm, and I had it on for 11 hours, so you know that looks really good. Okay, so here we go. No problem. It's, you know, a little thick. I do 1 squirt, and then I rub it between my hands, and I get it really, really on my fingers, and then I do this. Push all of that into places where my pores are a little bit extra. I know you think it's going to take that shine away, but it's still there, see? Then I go and I tap it into my expressions. And here is a trick. Are you ready? Do this and push up. You'll hear little popping sounds, and that is the primer going into your pores. And you do it every place you have an overabundance. I'm not going to rinse my fingers at all. And the reason why is because I like this Advanced Real Moisture Liquid Foundation by Touch in Sol. It's got SPF. And this is in number 23, light beige. It looks so skin-like when you use your fingers to apply it. If I find that it's a little heavy, I'll take my beauty blender, a wet beauty blender, back through it and, you know, move it around a little bit. Doesn't take very much. That's like 1 little squirt. Rub it between the fingers, get it good and warm, and literally tap it on the place you want the most coverage, okay? And then when you barely have any left, tap it on that part of the face. And then you literally rub this in. I'm still glowy, but now I have a foundation coverage that is very natural, that doesn't fall into lines. Now, remember how we took our time? We're going to use the same technique. I do put this a little bit under my eyes, not a lot, just a little. And we're going to take it down the neck. And you see it doesn't take very much. This has such a beautiful pigment to it. It just makes every little nuance, especially if you have expression lines and wrinkles and little dry patches. And then I just go and I'm going to let this sit on my face. I'm not going to touch it or mess with it for about a minute or two. And then I'm going to show you how I lift and brighten my eyes. I used to buy a real expensive product, and I don't do that anymore. I actually, on the same shopping trip, found this Catrice Retouch Brightening in Lavender. And I'm not going to use this everywhere. I'm going to use this very sparingly, and I'm going to use a brush. But I'm just going to dab it in places where I want my eye lifted. Just in places where I want my eyes lifted. I'm not going to use it like a full-on concealer. I just want to use it in places where I want that bright look. I know, I look a little scary. But I've discovered that this, when you blend it out with a brush, and you can put this into your lines, and it literally helps with the shadow that the wrinkle is created on your face. It helps pull it up and out. So it diminishes the look of that line that I have there that drives me insane. Little bit right there. Little bit right there. Not very much. Then I'm going to take my Real Techniques concealer brush, and I'm going to just smooth that into that foundation. Okay? Don't worry, it's going to look crazy at first. It is going to look like, oh my God, you just totally ruined all your makeup. But not really. Once I get it where I want it with the brush, I'm good. I'm not touching it anymore. And we're actually going to let this dry down a little bit. And I take this all the way around the places that I really want to brighten. When you get older, you really want certain areas of your face bright. So I know it's going to look like a little like ghost-like until I get my concealer on. I'm going to try to use mostly drugstore. I do have a palette that I'm going to use that's not drugstore, but it's BoxyCharm, you know. So really, when I figured out the price of it, I think all 10 products came out to be like $5 a product. So for me, I'm going to count that as drugstore. And do you see everything's got kind of this purpley cast? I'm going to take it where I have any melasma, and it is just going to really, really help disguise that. It just works so well. And I do have this piece of melasma right here I don't like. I've had those ever since I had my children. I have 3 children. One's 32, one's 26, and one is 21. So, you know, I'm not exactly a spring chicken. Okay, bear with me. I know it looks crazy right now. You're like, but you already put your foundation on. Yep, I did. Now, I'm going to take this brightening from Garnier, and I'm just going to paint my eye bag and let it sit there for a minute or two. And I'm all done with this brush. I'm not going to use my concealer brush anymore for the rest of this tutorial. I actually thought that oh. Sorry, I totally did bring them. I found these at Walmart. They are every bit as good as the mini beauty blenders. And these are like $2, maybe $3. And you get 2 of them. They're actually really good. Now, I don't wet these when I use them under my eye for this purpose. I know it's a little weird, but whatever. I enjoy them. They're small. They're really, really, they feel just like a little beauty blender. They are really, really nice. So that's been sitting on there. And it's a little bit of a peachy color. And do you see what that did? That just took all of that blue away from my under eye. I am going to dot, 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 not a lot with whatever remains on the end of the sponge. And I'm going to take it in and dot it on my lids. I'm going to do this because I'm doing a festival makeup look. And I haven't decided if I'm going to use the pink or purple. And you'll know through my swatches that that stains. And yeah, I don't want stained eyelids. Okay. That step's done. Next, I am taking my Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define, and this one is in C1. Now, that's because I want it to be bright AF. Every place where I put that brightening cream, I'm going to tap this concealer. You know, this, I prefer over Shape Tape. Shape Tape is way too drying on my eyes, and the Maracuja is just too oily and too thick to work with on a daily basis. And I just discover I really enjoy this concealer. It totally does what it needs to do for me. Oh, looking a little scary. Okay, damp beauty blender. We're going to start on the forehead, and we're going to make this crazy looking arrow. Now, you're thinking, oh my God, she already put her foundation on. She just totally ruined her foundation. No. Because once I put my contour shade on and carve that back out, you won't be able to see it. But if I don't do this step, then you can see the clear delineation of that wonderful brightener that I used, and that's not pretty either. Don't forget, close your eye, look up, make the alien face. Yeah, so you just make that face, and I know I look kind of ghostly, but that's gonna go away. And normally I wouldn't take my concealer up over my eyelid, but I am doing that festival look, and I want to have an extra layer. And remember, you're pushing up here, not pulling down. If you pull down, you are going to have an issue with pores. So this looks good. And I'm going to do a step because I primed with oil today, and it's not going to last. It's going to get real dewy real quick, right? But the oil just makes everything slide around on your face and totally, like, works. So the older we get, the more focus we want right through here to be bright, and I do mean bright. It just makes you appear younger and more lifted in that area. Okay, ready for a crazy makeup trick? Makeup sponge, toilet paper. I've been doing this for good 5 years. And you're like, you just put all that coverage on, now you're gonna take it all away. No, this absolutely prevents the cakiness of having too much product on your face. So it just takes any extra oil or extra product you might have on your face. See, there's not really a lot of makeup on that. And it just helps everything to sit down. And it's going to make everything look really nice. And then I'm going to show you a trick on setting your eyelids. So, still see the glow. See it? Now that you've taken that excess oil and layer off, you see the glow. It's still there without being over the top oily. Take this off. If I feel like I have excess oil, like especially above my lip, I don't know why I get that there, but anyway. And I'm just gonna dot the heck out of right there. And the reason why I do is because that's where my foundation breaks up. I wear glasses, my foundation breaks up there all the time, all the time. Okay. To set the face, this isn't drugstore, sorry. But this was on the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty, and this is the Cover FX Perfect Setting Powder, and this is Translucent Light. And I am literally going to take a minuscule amount. And I think I am going to use the new powder brushes we got from Moda. They're not my favorite. I think Real Techniques is a better one. Okay, trick for this. See, it has this wonderful thing. You're literally gonna open it a little bit, turn it upside down, and it's gonna give you plenty of powder. Because for this, do you see the kick up there? So for this, I have a face hair in there. Okay. For this, I'm going to take my beauty blender, make sure that I don't have any creases, and I am literally going to press that and set it with a minimal amount of powder. Do you see? It darkened it a little bit, but not so dramatic that you're like, ooh. But the last thing you want to do is set creases in your face when you're of a certain age. And this is a very super fine powder, and it does the job. So we're going to go all over the face now that we've got our eyes set. And we are not going to powder ourselves to the point of ridiculousness. Just to the point where we've knocked off all the excess oil and we've set our foundation. I'm also getting ready to use a product that I didn't think I would like, but it turns out I really like this product I'm getting ready to use, and I've heard like mixed reviews, and people, you either love it or you hate it. There's no in between. No, I'm not done powdering, but I do have a good base on my face to start contour, blush, blah, blah, blah. And these eyeshadows, I can't wait to play with these eyeshadows. All right, first things first. Let's take out our new Luxie brush that I got in the BoxyCharm, because BoxyCharm is awesome. I love Luxie brushes. They are just absolutely perfect. Oh, I should have used this one for my brightening concealer. Maybe I could have done a better job of like being more precise, but I just went with what I knew. All right, so I'm gonna use this brand new Luxie 512 Small Contouring. Now, I'm gonna use that beautiful, I don't mean to blind you. I'm gonna use that beautiful contour shade. It is the perfect gray contour for my face. And you do notice I started up here and came down instead of starting down here and going up. You are carving your face out with this. You are not like bronzing. This is strictly to give you that shadow, that fake shadow. Just go like that. And now, but be very careful because you don't want to go too low because it'll pull the face down. And you take this around the top of your forehead, and I just go swoop, swoop, swoop across. And the reason why I do that is because it gives your face this gorgeous, gorgeous, alive look. I also come up under here, and you'll notice I'm just dipping one time and going gently and lifting my head and getting that part of my neck. It is very important that you get that part of your neck. Okay, now this is what I do that's different than most people. I'm gonna highlight my whole cheek because this blush that's in this palette is a matte blush, and the older you get, you don't want to use a matte blush. You want the face to be alive. By the way, I really liked this Precision. It's just dense enough to throw that color down there exactly where you want it. Awesome brush. Okay. I love this Crown Duo Fiber. I think I got this on their, I'm pretty sure I got this in June or July, and it was on their clearance. And this has been just one of the best outside of my Luxie Duo Fiber brush. It, you know, it stands the test of time, and I think I paid like $5 for it. I mean, it's incredible. You should really look at Crown brushes. Now, I'm going into the pinky toned highlighter by itself. I'm not even dipping in the gold one. And I know, seems counterintuitive. And I'm swirling that up across the cheekbone, like where you would put blush. See? So that because it's so pinky, it reads beautifully. Okay, that's done. Now, you're just gonna like run that brush over a towel, anything you want. And then you're gonna go into that gold highlighter, and you're gonna pull that across the top of the cheek. And it is really, really, really gonna make all of the difference in the world. Great. Of course somebody would ding dong my bell in the middle of a video. I'm not answering it. I don't have time. Oh, good God Almighty. All right. Hold that thought. I'll be right back.